Welcome to Nana B's Juke Joint. I'm Executive Chef Yolanda Monique, coming at you this week with another banger. Today, on the 3rd of July, which, happy holidays, y'all. Happy 4th and all of that. I hope y'all have an amazing time. Me, I have to work tomorrow. I'm actually excited because that time and a half, trust, okay? Especially now. But what I will say is this, is that I want you all to be safe out there and have an amazing holiday. Now, I know there's barbecuing and all the traditional stuff, and I get it. Me, quite frankly, I'm just not in that mode. Of course, I have to work, so I'm not in that mode. However, what I am going to cook is still absolutely amazing and just on task. It's on point, okay? And it is from this cookbook right here that I've had for about 6 years now, and it's G. Garvin's Dining In. Don't sleep on this cookbook. And I know there are maybe some of you who have not heard of him. He's an amazing, amazing chef. He was on BET. He had his own show on BET at a time, from what I remember. And I started following him around that time. And when his cookbook came out, I could not wait. And this cookbook does not disappoint. The recipe that I'm cooking today, I've been cooking now out of this cookbook for about 6 years, because that one stood out to me amongst the many that are beautiful in here. But that one grabbed a hold of me, and I have been cooking this dish now for about 6 years, and I got it out of this cookbook. This cookbook has an array of just beautiful, savory dishes. This one is one of them. This is called pappardelle. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, you Italian, you know, where y'all really know how to say that, don't come for me. Pappardelle with roasted short rib ragu. And baby, look at that. Okay, that's next. That's why that's bookmark. See that bit? That's next. I'm cooking that next. But what I am cooking today, and I have it pinned bookmark as well, is garlic and sage chicken. Or it's braised garlic and sage chicken. And look at that. Do you see? Do you see? Do you see how beautiful that is? Now, I have been cooking this dish now for 6 years, so I've made it my own, but it started here. So any of you out there, go and get it. G. Garvin's Dining In, that where you love really beautiful, savory, just amazingly flavored dishes, right here, all right? So now let's put this aside and let's get this party started. What you see in front of you is my chicken, and we keep it simple. The recipe calls for just kosher salt and pepper. So be careful with kosher salt, because kosher salt does, because of it being kosher, it actually does, it makes things more salty. Don't sprinkle that like you would regular salt. Kosher salt is just up here with it, for real. Kosher salt and pepper. I've seasoned my chicken thighs with the skin on with that. And then I have my bunch of sage leaves. I also have, it's called for fresh rosemary, but I forgot about that and I didn't get it. But I did have some dry rosemary, so we're gonna use that. It also calls for 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And here's the kosher salt and pepper, by the way. So just like I said, be careful, season till your ancestors tell you to stop and all that jazz. And then it calls for 3 tablespoons of oil. And we're gonna put that in the pan when we get these all nice and toasty and brown. And then it calls for smashed garlic. I had some garlic that was going bad, so, and please believe me, I mean, I know it calls for just 6 cloves, and this looks like more than that, but I'm a garlic girly. We're a garlic household, so the more the better. But yes, it calls for 6 cloves of smashed garlic. So that's what the recipe calls for. Then it also calls for 2 cups of white wine. And then it calls for 2 cups of chicken broth or veal stock. And here are my red potatoes. They're all nice and cut up. They're cut up kind of interesting. They're just like this. They're like in slices, if you will, but not too thin, because you want them to have some texture, and you'll see why at the end. And then I have some shallots along with some white onion, also roughly chopped, okay? So like I said, we're gonna get this party started. You're gonna get an opportunity to see me make this, and you're gonna see how amazing it is. This dish, when I cooked it the first time, my whole family was like, yeah, okay. Usually when I'm experimenting in my household, you know, it goes, it's like this, it goes, or okay, yeah. And this was a great dish, and they were like, yes, this is fire. And I've cooked it since then, okay? So have a wonderful holiday. Stay safe. Remember to eat well, laugh often, and love much. Bye.
All right, y'all. It's important that you don't touch the chicken. That might be difficult for some of y'all. But if it's sticking, when it's still stuck, leave it alone. Okay, don't worry. Just keep the heat pretty moderate, like in between high and medium, so that you get that color that you want on the skin. But if it's sitting there and it's not moving, it's not supposed to. It'll release itself when it's time. So let me show you that. So now my chicken is released. I'm trying to see. Let me see. Yep. And look at that peel. Now, mind you, this chicken, this skin on this piece was loose, but it's still got a nice sear on it, right? And then you need to leave it alone, because the same thing's going to happen once you switch it to the other side. It's going to stick. Let it do its thing. It's okay. Oh, shoot. That one wasn't ready. See what happens when it's not ready? You don't want to lose the skin. You will lose the skin. This one's perfect. Perfect. All of them are pretty much, but the skin was loose on one of them. I do remember that. Let me see. This one was loose a minute ago. So now I'm going to turn it around. Now the meat because the skin. Okay, so we'll turn it. And we'll leave it alone. All right. The skin's got a nice crust on it. Really nice. All right. That's what you want it to look like. Now, it's going to stick on the other side as well, on the meat side. Let it do its thing. Leave it alone, because otherwise you'll tear the meat. When you try to pull it, it'll stick to the pan, and that's not what you want. So just leave it be, okay? Leave it alone, you people. Because I know that's difficult for some of y'all. Leave it alone. It's right there in between medium and high, because all I want to do is get a nice color on the other side as well. Leave it alone.